What's up guys, KalipezTech here, coming back at you with another video. Today, we're going to be doing a comparison between the Motorola Moto G Play and the BLU G71. So let's get started. The Moto G Play has a 6.5-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 270, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. We got a water drop notch for the front-facing camera here, and this camera is 5 megapixels. The BLU G71 has a 6.5-inch LCD display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 270, and an aspect ratio of 20:9. We got a hole punch up here for the front-facing camera, and this camera is 13 megapixels. So these displays are essentially the same. They both have the same resolution, same size, same pretty much everything. There's really not a difference between the two. The difference here is going to be in the actual design of the phones themselves. And I personally think the BLU G71 looks a lot better. Not only does it have thinner bezels, but it also has the hole punch front-facing camera versus the water drop notch. And I think the water drop notch makes a phone look a little bit cheaper and more outdated. The hole punch is a nicer, cleaner, more modern look. As far as storage goes, the Moto G Play has 32 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion, and the BLU G71 has 64 gigabytes of internal storage, also with microSD card expansion. So the BLU G71 has a huge advantage here with double the storage of the Moto G Play. This is going to make quite a difference because I personally don't think 32 gigabytes is enough. These days, apps are getting larger and larger, as well as even the system itself. So having more storage than you need is ideal. For the average user, you should be able to get away with 32 gigabytes if you're careful, but it's better to not have to worry about that stuff. So with the BLU G71 having 64 gigabytes of internal storage, you're probably not even going to come close to running out of storage unless you have a lot of apps that take up a lot of space, or if you have a lot of videos on the phone, in which case you can use a microSD card anyway. So again, the chances of you actually running out of space are a lot slimmer with the BLU G71 than they are with the Moto G Play. Neither of these phones have wireless charging, but both of them have a fingerprint scanner and face unlock. So security-wise, they're both really good. Both of the fingerprint scanners are located right here on the back in the same spot. Let's give them each a try, starting with the Moto G Play. Screen's locked. There we go. One more time. And there we go. It's really fast and responsive. No problem there at all. Let's try out the BLU G71. There we go, one more time. And there we go. Both fingerprint scanners were equally fast and responsive. I had no troubles with either of them. They might not have the fancy look of an in-display fingerprint scanner, but they are really fast, if not faster than most of them. The Moto G Play has a 13 megapixel rear camera and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode. No extra features like an ultra wide or macro camera, but not a bad setup. The BLU G71 has a triple camera setup here with a 13 megapixel rear camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera. So they have really similar qualities, but the BLU G71 has an ultra wide camera and the Moto G Play doesn't. So that is going to be a decent advantage on the side of the BLU G71. Now to get a better idea of what this quality looks like, here are a couple pictures taken by the rear cameras of each phone. I would say the colors are a little bit brighter on the photo taken by the BLU G71 than they are on the photo taken by the Moto G Play. Both of them do have decent quality, but the BLU G71 looks a tiny bit better. As far as video goes, both phones are able to shoot in 1080p video in both the rear and the front cameras, so the difference is not going to be huge there. I would say the BLU G71 has an overall better camera than the Moto G Play, even though it's really close, because not only does the BLU G71 have an ultra-wide camera when the Moto G Play doesn't, but the quality of the photo taken by the BLU G71, especially with the colors, is a little bit better than the photo taken by the Moto G Play. Now internally, the Moto G Play is getting 3 GB of RAM with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 460 processor. I ran a Geekbench 5 benchmark test on this phone and it came back with a single core score of 219 and a multi-core score of 1058. Pretty high for such an entry-level phone. The BLU G71 is getting 3 GB of RAM with the MediaTek Helio A25 processor. I ran a Geekbench 5 benchmark test on this phone too, and it came back with a single core score of 147 and a multi-core score of 873. So the Moto G Play is definitely going to be a little bit faster. Neither of them is out of the range of the other. I wouldn't say the Moto G Play could do a whole lot more than the BLU G71 can do, but as far as basic activities, you are going to see a difference. To give you an idea of what this difference in power looks like, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison so you can see for yourself. We're going to start by opening Google Chrome. In there, the Motorola Moto G Play did pull it up clearly faster. Let's try a website and see if it's any different. So again, the Moto G Play did pull things up just a little bit faster. So I definitely would say the Moto G Play is the faster phone between the two. The G71 isn't that bad, but I would say the difference is pretty clear. As far as the battery goes, both these phones have the same battery with the 5000 mAh battery. It's pretty much the biggest battery on the market. With these phones, you're not only going to get a lot of life per charge, but you're also going to get longevity down the road when a phone with a tiny battery like the iPhone 12 with a 2815 mAh battery is starting to die out. Both these phones are probably going to have a lot more life left in them because the battery is almost double the size. Now in conclusion, which one of these phones is actually better? This is pretty evenly split, especially since a lot of these features are really similar. On one hand, the BLU G71 has double the storage and a better camera than the Moto G Play, but the Moto G Play is faster. So I would say it all comes down to exactly what you're doing with your phone. If you just want to do basic activities like browsing the web, mobile functions like sending text messages and making calls, and going on social media, the Moto G Play is going to be a little bit better because it can go on the web and run social media apps like Instagram a little bit faster and smoother than the BLU G71. But if you're going to have a lot of media on your phone, if you're going to take a lot of photos and maybe shoot videos and that sort of thing, then the BLU G71 is going to be better for 2 reasons. First of all, the camera is a little bit better. The colors are brighter and the details are a tiny bit sharper, I would say, and it has an ultra-wide camera. The second reason is the storage. The BLU G71 has double the storage of the Moto G Play. So you're going to get that advantage when you're filling your phone up with photos and videos. At the end of the day, both of these are really reliable entry-level phones with a lot of nice features. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.